Everyone, I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to hop on and talk to you guys today about this. Quit trying to rush everyone else's process. Amen. You know, something that they taught us in our graduate counseling training back in the day is that often when we were in the program, we would see what the solution needed to be in someone else's life before they would see it. When we were in the position, quote unquote, of counselor, and when we were working with a client, right? But one of the primary rules that they tell you when you're working to become a licensed counselor is don't just tell the person outright a lot of the time. Let them come to that conclusion. Let them realize what's going on. Now, you can point out some important things to them, and you can kind of help them along the way, but they really emphasize the importance of allowing people to come to their own conclusions. And sometimes, to be honest, in the counselor seat, it was so maddening just because you were sitting there and you were like, oh, I know the answer. Why are you not getting to this fast enough? Why are you not seeing that this is really unhealthy, that this is really dangerous for you, whatever it may be, right? And the purpose and the importance of that individual coming to the conclusion for themselves was because it would stick. Amen. They would really implement life changes if they understood the significance of it, rather than you just telling them something. Amen. I really felt like the word that God wanted me to talk to you guys about today is let them embrace God's timing over that situation. Amen. Let God show them, let God lead them to the solution. And I kind of very strongly got the impression this morning that there were a lot of people who were trying to force or hurry situations where you knew the answers in other people's lives. Amen. You knew what they needed to do. You knew what was going to bring health, healing, restoration to them, joy. You know, you knew the quote unquote right answers because you'd been praying for these people. And it was so frustrating to be in the seat on the other side where you're watching people embracing decisions in their life or areas that are not fully surrendered to the Lord or are not 110% His will. Amen. And God was just saying, I need you to trust me. Let me be God in their life. It's not to say you can't plant seeds. It's not to say you can't speak truth, but your job is to love people. Amen. And to let God embrace His timing over that person's life. You know, I think a lot of times we forget that God has a timing for people's lives. Sometimes He doesn't need them to come to an answer instantly. Sometimes He's working on deeper things in that individual that we do not see, and He needs them to come to a conclusion a little bit later because it's going to stick better. Amen. And so there's a lot of different situations. I remember I had a situation in my personal life from way back in the day before I surrendered my love life to God. I was dating a guy at the time that my best friend knew was not of the Lord for me. Like, she just knew that this guy was not the best. Amen. And he was very serious about me, like took me to meet his family, proposed, XYZ, all this mess. And, you know, I kind of didn't feel 100% great about it. Didn't have like a ton of peace, but it wasn't like an outright thing where I was blatantly seeing a bunch of red flags. But it was a situation where my good friend knew 1010% this is not of God, kind of a thing. And she was so frustrated. I wasn't with this guy for very long. It was just a few months or whatever, but she was praying for me the whole time and talking to me. And she was so frustrated that I just wasn't getting it. Amen. And by the end of this time, you know, I went and I was seeking God this whole time. You know, it wasn't like I was just trying to not do anything about the situation. And this is even before I had surrendered my love life fully to God, kind of a thing. But I was still wanting to honor Him, kind of a scenario. And so I went to church one Sunday. And we had this awesome worship service. I think it was a Wednesday night, actually. It was a Wednesday or a Sunday night. It was not our normal church time on Sunday mornings or whatever. And I heard from God clear as day that He was not it. And I felt such a peace. I felt such a joy. And I went back that night and took care of, you know, breaking up with him, kind of a thing. And my friend was so frustrated with me. She was like, that's what it took. I've been talking to you about this for 2 or 3 months. And that's what it took for you to get in, you know, in line and on board with this thing. And I was like, yeah. But the reason is I needed to hear from God for myself. And some of you guys don't understand. I know you see the solutions that other people are needing. I know you see what they need in their personal lives, but God needs them to see it for themselves. Amen. And understand that God's timing sometimes looks different from the way that we would perceive it or the way that we would expect it, but His timing is good. And one of the best things that you can do in those scenarios is to love on people, to pray for people, to plant seeds when they allow you to, but not to force things. Amen. and just to really, really try to help them and to let God be God in their personal lives. Amen. And so what I saw this morning was a bunch of people who are at this brink and this point of extreme frustration towards others. And they're going, I see the way in your life. I see what you should be doing. I see the right path. Why are you not getting this? I've been praying for you for so long. And people were just so frustrated at the lack of breakthrough for other people that they had been praying for so long. And God's going, I need you to trust me. I need you to trust that I've got that person, that I've got that situation. Love on them. Continue to pray for them. Your prayers are extremely important, ladies and gents, but trust God with these situations because he's working behind the scenes. And at the appointed time, when God speaks to a person, it's going to stick better. Amen. And these people need to hear from God directly over a situation. Quit trying to force them into your timing, into your bubble, into the things that you've heard, and let God talk to them and trust that he is big enough to deal with this stuff. Amen. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll chat with you again soon.